What is going on, everybody? My name is Ciara Lawler. Welcome to the week of Movie Mondays. This is the Heroes for Hire podcast. We are back again, talking all the week's movie news, entertainment news, and just generally having a bit of a chit-chat about everything to do with film. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Mr. Sean Mean. Sean, how's it going?
I'm having a lovely 15th of June. How are you?
I am also having a lovely 16th of June. What?
What's
is
the
in the
future like?
future?
Did you solve all the problems?
Imagine I could go to the future, but I just go to tomorrow.
That's still pretty useful, I would say.
Yeah, I suppose lottery tickets, that'd help.
Oh, yeah.
The Grand National, other ways to make money. What else could I rob?
Surely you could just, stop people from dying and things like that.
Oh, you mean nice things? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I went for monetary value. Straight off. You know what I'm about.
Away, yeah.
Have you heard of our Patreon?
No, I haven't. I was going to look it up tomorrow.
No, there's no time, Sean. So, this is Movie Mondays, and obviously everything's on lockdown at the minute, so this show has been kind of taking a different turn, just in regards to, obviously there's no movies coming out, so there's no trailers coming out, and we've kind of had to just rely on news. But this week, Sean, we are starting Movie Mondays with actual trailer talk. This might be our first trailer since the Black Widow trailer. Is that the last one?
Oh my god, really?
I'm trying to remember what in between, but Black Widow one in May, at the start of May or late April, might be the last one that we reviewed.
Oh man. Well, look. Let's come back with a bang.
Let's come back with a big bang. And it's actually weird that we were talking about time travel, because our first trailer, our first news story this week is Bill and Ted 3. The trailer has dropped for Bill and Ted 3 with Mr. Keanu Reeves. What a man.
Yes. What a man, the man himself. We'll get into that.
What a man. But, Sean, you have watched the trailer. I said, Sean, you make notes, and I know you love Alex Winter, you love Keanu Reeves. You're gonna love making
order.
notes. You, everyone's favourite, Alex Winter and the other guy. But, Sean, what are your thoughts on this trailer? It was only a minute and I think 40 seconds long, maybe, so not a lot to get into, but it is our first glimpse at this new movie.
Yeah, I don't know. You told me to make notes. There's not a whole lot to make notes on.
Did you just write Bill and Ted? Question mark?
Ted and Bill,
Ted and
perhaps.
Bill.
No. So the premise of this is that they played their gig, and then a month later. Is it a month later?
No, they said years later. This is 20 years down the line. They've gone from playing a concert in front of in front of the entire world to a gig in front of 40 people.
Oh yeah, who were there for taco night?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So they're washed up.
They're all hacks. This is very Keanu Reeves. It's a bit close to the bone. Washed up.
Did they age up Keanu Reeves in this?
They're like, we need to make him older. Alex Winter's had a tough life. Keanu, you look too young.
He does. It might be the loss of the beard, and I'm so used. And he has this. I will say, they perfectly capture the characters of Bill and Ted. Still,
Even still, you feel like they fell back into that role.
I think so, because Keanu still has that slightly not there expression
Vacant.
that he always has. Vacant, a good word.
Yeah.
But the plot of this movie is, they're going to go into the future to find the best song that they already wrote.
Because they're going to steal from themselves.
They're going to steal from themselves, so it's not stealing.
Yeah, if we're stealing it from ourselves, it isn't stealing, is what they say. Yeah, so they also go to the future, and then they find themselves in muscle suits.
Yes, which...
And that was the one part of the trailer I was like, I suppose that's funny, but Sean, I read the best YouTube comment, and it just said, this looks terrible, I can't wait to see it opening night.
That's very true. I think this could be a beautiful mess of a movie.
But because the first one is a beautiful mess of a movie.
Yeah, everyone treasures it as oh, it's this cult classic. It's a dumb fucking premise, for a start.
But it's But this is... I'm going to get a bit cynical here, Sean. I'm going to need you to try and pull me back here, because Dumb and Dumber, very good 90s movie,
I thought this was going to come up. Yeah.
Of its time, and then they got the characters back. Well, get out. The crew is back together. Dumb and Dumber 2. This time it's more personal. Electric Boogaloo. And they came out, and that is one of the worst comedies ever. So, Sean, what
soulless
of this?
As well.
Yeah. Sean, do you think this movie could fall into the same trap in that it can't... I suppose capture is the right word. Like, it can't capture that feeling you got when you watched the first one, which nobody can, because it's a...
Nobody can, yeah, and that's a trap everyone falls into. I don't know, I think Keanu Reeves would do this because he thinks people would like it.
And he's just a lovely man.
He's just a lovely man. Like, I don't think he'd be in this for the cash, because I think he's made enough money, and he's said that numerous times.
Yeah, and I think for many years they've been trying to get him back to do what it is. But he just spent his whole time going, no.
And what strikes me about this as well is it's coming out summer 2020.
Yes. August 21st.
Like, that's at the point where everyone assumes everything's going to be okay. So, like, it might benefit from that people haven't been to the cinema all summer.
Now, we actually do have a news story relating to that kind of thought process later on. But that is a very good point, just in regards to if people haven't been to the cinema, they'll probably want to go out. And I think this has a lot of nostalgia for it. I suppose, I'm sure someone who probably didn't watch the first movie or didn't really care for it, like, you're going to watch a trailer and say, this looks terrible. Like, I don't get anything from it. But if you watched Bill and Ted, all you would literally need is just the two of them and the phone box. That's all you need to sell the movie.
That's very true. Like, and it's probably going to be a movie that you can just jump into even if you've never seen Bill and Ted. You know, but you'll get more out of it if you've seen the other two.
I do actually think that Keanu Reeves has been aged up. I think you're right. I was watching it going, he's not that old looking. I've seen him in real life. He
looks so much older.
Did they, like, pale his lips or something? I don't understand what they did to make him look slightly older.
Maybe that's it. It's the lack of... See, I don't... And it's not even... It can't even be the long hair, because John Wick has long hair.
It might be the beard, but normally beards make people look older. But apparently it makes him look younger.
I have no idea what it is. It's magical.
Yeah. I think the best encapsulation of this movie is that it's probably going to be terrible, but a movie can be dumb fun. Like, if it has charm, it can be dumb fun. The problem is, with Dumb and Dumber 2, they kind of did the dumb bit without any of the charm, and that makes you lose all your love for the franchise or whatever. But if this movie's bad, it doesn't mean the first two don't exist, which is very important to say.
Yes, let's all keep that in mind.
Yeah. And also, Keanu Reeves is not going to do something that's really terrible. Or is he? We don't know.
I don't know. I hope this somehow ties into Matrix 4.
That's the only way he'd do it. I will only do Bill and Ted if it somehow relates to Matrix and John Wick. Somehow.
Tie in. We've talked about the Keanu verse before.
Do you think I really want the scene in this movie now where Bill and Ted meet John Wick.
Oh my god, that would be fantastic.
And he has a beard. He has the John Wick look, but then he goes back to Ted and he's just old Keanu Reeves for some reason. Or John Wick meets muscle-made Keanu Reeves. Muscle suit.
Oh my god, who has that in a fight?
John Wick. John Wick has every fight.
That's true, John Wick cannot lose a fight.
No, but I mean, he can get punched, but there's very little fights that he actually comes up. Jeez, I think I lost that one. Very few.
Yeah, I think the muscle suits. They look good for muscle suits.
Do you think this is do you think that is this movie's only good joke and they put it in the trailer, which is a mistake a lot of these movies make?
That was my follow-up question.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how much that's going to be in it. Like, because that joke will wear thin very quickly.
If you want to give a time, it's about 72 seconds. When was that kept old?
Yeah, I think so, because you can't just have that, and because they're in prison. So how long can a prison segment last? Like 10, 20 minutes?
Oh God! And there's going to be a
That's going to wear
breakout.
fucking thin, man.
20 minutes of a muscle suit. That seems a bit much.
Vinnie Jones only got like 8.5.
He did. I think this movie, it has every right to be as dumb as it wants. It's a strange time to bring it out. It's definitely a strange world, but maybe this is what everyone needs, is just a very dumb movie that they can kind of just go laugh at.
It's true, maybe this'll fix everything. This is the cure.
Yeah, if this doesn't fix everything, 0 stars from me. That's what I'm doing.
I'm not setting my priorities too high, but
I think Keanu could do it. If I told Keanu, you could save the world as this is good, he'd actually make like the best movie ever.
he would, just no one's told him that yet.
No, nobody's actually told him. Come on, Speed 3. Is there a Speed 3?
They made a Speed 3.
Did they? No, Speed 2 was
Yeah.
the boat. What was Speed 3 then?
I think it was a train.
Of course.
Or wait, did they never make a Speed 3? And I'm thinking of Father Ted.
You might be thinking of a milk truck.
A milk float, yeah.
Yeah, Speed 3 is Father Ted.
Good, glad we nailed that down.
That's for our new podcast, Father Ted Talk.
Father Ted, I'd love Father Ted.
Yeah. Okay, we're moving on to another piece of news, Sean, and something that actually made me quite sad. This is I think a movie. It's a story about a movie that would be kind of close to our childhood, and that is Artemis Fowl. Now,
Yes.
the Artemis Fowl movie was Disney Plus's next big thing. It's been in development for a lot of years, and we, of course, read the books when we were younger, so we were like very much looking forward to this. But Sean, I have some bad news in that the first reviews have come out, and they're not pleasant.
Can't imagine they would be.
No. Do you want to know the Rotten Tomatoes score? Now, we will say, as usual, Rotten Tomatoes is not a true reflection of a movie. It's just a general vibe. You get a general ballpark of where it's at.
Okay, is it like at a 19 or something like that?
15%, Sean. It's at 15%.
That's rough.
I think Geostorm has 11. So
Better than Geostorm.
a Geostorm is like the Ben-Hur of disaster movies.
Like, I do feel bad for some of the people involved in this, but this must have been a movie made by committee, right?
Now, yeah, I think so, because, of course, this is, the Artemis Fowl series is written by Irish author, Owen Colfer, and it was going to come out, it was directed by Kenneth Branagh as well, and the whole thing is like, it's a young, rich genius who, I think he's 10 maybe, 11 or 12 in the first one, and he stumbles upon a secret race of fairies living under the Earth's surface and decides to exploit the discovery for profit. Now, in the original books, I'm pretty positive Artemis Fowl is like an anti-hero. He's like a villain. He's a dickhead, basically, in all the novels. But in the movie itself, what it said is that the committee themselves felt it would be more beneficial to make Artemis the hero of the story, from straight off.
That's not interesting, though.
No.
Because, like now you've made it a movie solely for kids.
Which is fine, if it's half decent.
But it's appealing. But it's marketed to everyone. You get me?
Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah, and once you appeal to everyone, you appeal to nobody.
Exactly. Yeah, like it's the reason the first book went so mad, specifically in Ireland, but worldwide as well, is that like he's not a good person in the first book.
No, he's the villain, isn't he, in the first one?
He is. He kidnaps a fairy. He kidnaps a living creature and like holds her prisoner in his basement. Like, and he doesn't just stumble across a magical world. Like, he spent his time researching all the old stories, and he's deduced, no, this is real, and here's how I exploit it.
Yeah, because he's using it for his own gain.
Yeah, he wants all the fairy gold.
And even, which is a dumb idea, but you have a 10-year-old genius who's like, I'm going to kidnap a fairy and set her ransom, and then just try and get the money back, because I can just do that, because I want it.
And he just fucking does it.
And he just does it. And so the whole movie is he kidnaps the fairy, and then it's the fairies attacking his house in like a weird Home Alone situation, but like on a higher scale. Like they all turn up with rockets and shit. And he's got like guns all set up around the house to defend his kidnapping, because he's like, if you're not going to bring the gold, you're not going to get the fairy back.
It's a brilliant story. And then you have the second book, which this movie seems to be following more closely, which I think is it will be to its detriment, because if you jump in at the second point of a series to start telling your story, I think you're missing a lot of what already existed in the second piece of source material. Yeah, because as it goes on, it turns out like, and not to give away all the novels, I mean, I suppose they're like 10 years old now at this stage, but as it goes on, like, he helps the fairies more and more, and it's like a whole world where this Lord Voldemort has actually turned to helping the wizards as it goes on, but you still have that underlying thing where none of them like him, and he doesn't like them. Yeah, and it's... I don't know how to describe it. I think it raises interesting points, and to have, 10, 11, 12-year-olds be aware of those things. Like, it's not dumbed down, is what I'm trying to say. Now, would you like some of the reviews, Sean? I would. MovieWeb has said Artemis Fowl has a high production value, but fails to captivate in any meaningful way. The characters are clunky, poorly written, and devoid of any chemistry whatsoever. Rough. You have the Rap, who says Artemis Fowl is trying to be something very different. Bigger, beefier, flashier, and not as magical. You can't really blame it for aiming lower, but there's enough tantalising promise here to wish that it didn't. So it shows that there is probably because obviously in the novels they have like 7 or 8 issues, so it shows that there is a world here to explore. They probably just didn't do it enough justice to earn this. And the San Francisco Chronicle has my favourite review, in that they say it's an okay version of the thing that it is. I just can't stand the thing that it is. Jesus. That's pretty good, isn't it? Also, since I did this news report yesterday, it has now dropped to 13%. Oh god, okay. It's getting worse. The thing is as well, is I have the Disney Plus app on my phone. Yes. And the second that movie went live, I got a notification pushed to me. So presumably, and like the last time I had that happen was when they put like Star Wars, when they made Star Wars available. So they're pushing it hard. Yeah. Because it's a movie released on Disney Plus, Yeah, it's exclusive, and it's going to try and bring people in, which makes sense. I mean, it makes sense as a marketing tool to do that. They say that in the book series, obviously, the character is portrayed mainly as a merciless anti-hero, while in the Artemis Fowl movie, it appears that he is depicted as a blatant hero who helps protect the world from ancient, fantastical beasts. Yeah, it's a much duller concept. Yeah, let's take this cool thing, make it duller, and make it in a movie form. Yeah, and look, we've not seen it. We could love the movie. I'm just because we were excited about it, and I read that these reports, and I was just like, I may tell Sean, to lower his expectations. Yeah, I'm not. I would have seen this in the cinemas to support, Irish. Yeah. But I can't say for certain whether I'll watch this with any, urgency. Okay. I think, it's just, also that San Francisco Chronicle article, that made me laugh. It's an okay thing of what it is, but what it is I absolutely hate. So, Sean, we're going to move on to news that might excite you a bit more, but also I think is worse. And that is that the Batman trilogy, that is Matt Reeves' Batman trilogy that he is doing, is rumoured to introduce an all-new Joker at some stage. Yes, Sean, more Jokers.
That's
More
right.
Jokers
I
is
think
what
we
we
need
want and
Jared
need.
Leto back. Did anyone else say that? No? Just me?
Did anyone hear that chorus of fans?
The chorus of fans. There's a petition? Is there going to be a petition?
Look, if it's good and makes sense, do it. I get we've gotten a lot of Jokers of various degrees of quality, and Connor liking them.
I love them all. Love them all equally.
Love them all in reverse order from how they came out.
Yeah, chronologically reverse order, I love them the most. If you go by
Except
that.
put Jared up top.
Yeah, swap Jared. Swap Jared and Yakin, and that's my list.
It's hard. I don't know. Do you think you could ever have a Batman series that never mentioned or touched on the Joker?
Yes, I think so. I think Batman, like Spider-Man, is one of those characters that has, like, millions of villains that you could do. Can you do a Spider-Man trilogy without doing Venom?
Yes. Yeah, okay. I get you.
I think they're of the same level. Now, obviously, Joker is now much more mainstream and he has his own movie, for God's sake, and that's completely unlike. Although Venom actually has his own movie as well now, but
he does.
Like, that whole thing of just we have to throw Joker in here, I don't understand it, because we do Hero Zeros all the time, and I've done a lot of Batman characters that afterwards were just like, wow, they were pretty interesting. Like, the fact that you haven't done Under the Red Hood or anything to do with Nightwing or any of the Robins, really, other than Chris O'Donnell, fair play to him.
Fair play to Chris O'Donnell.
You have about over 100 years of Batman stories, or like 75 years of Batman stories. Just maybe do one that doesn't involve the Joker. You have the Long Halloween there as well. Like, you have a lot of stuff that you can touch on without having to go, right, well, we'll have to cast a Joker, and it has to be better than Heath Ledger, because you're always going to be in Heath Ledger's shadow after you cast the Joker.
Yeah, and like, this is one, look, they're going to do it. Let's just take that as a
absolutely.
given.
This is just a rumour, by the way. I'm just saying that it is rumoured that they are going to be doing a Joker, but I think everyone in their right mind kind of assumed that at some stage in the trilogy they would be.
Yeah, and like they have to nail it first of all. Like, I don't think you should try and, because if you just do a straight, this is the same Joker as Heath Ledger's except played by a different dude, doesn't work. People will hate it.
But if you do something that's a gang lord Joker, maybe has a Lamborghini, has a bit of a tat on his forehead, says damage,
it's
so
a
we
tat
know
everywhere.
Just tats all over the place. He's got smiley faces on his hands. He's got a big circle of knives for a laugh. I think you might have something there now.
Here's the thing. Here is how you get everyone to fucking love this.
Okay.
You cast Mark Hamill. You cast Mark Hamill at the age he is now, and Joker's just been like in the shadows for so long, just like puppet master and everything.
What? Okay,
the internet would love it.
I think, yeah. See, nobody's going to back it out. Nobody's going to insult Mark Hamill. That's the thing.
No one.
And Mark Hamill is the Joker. Well, he's the voice of the Joker in all of the animated series and and basically everything that's good with Batman normally has Mark Hamill. Kevin Conroy is Batman, Mark Hamill as Joker.
What if they cast Taylor Lautner as Joker?
Somehow that idea might be even better. Somehow. I don't know how you've done it, Sean. Taylor needs to come back. I think Taylor's a nice man. Do you know that?
Yeah, I think he's...
I've seen interviews with him and Greg Davies. Have you seen those interviews on YouTube?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I think he just comes across as a nice man. Also, Robert Pattinson comes across as a fairly well-adjusted human for going through all of that.
He comes across as a man who doesn't want to be famous.
Yeah, and so I think the two of them would have great crack. Taylor Lautner should be one of the villains, really.
That would be, like, Taylor Lautner as Bane.
As Bane, just straight up as Bane.
Like, go ahead. Sorry,
I was going to say Killer Mott. Maybe the Condiment King. They'll give him something shit. Pattinson will be like, "No, there won't be any teams here." Give him something fucking dog shit.
Like, when casting the Joker, do you say you cast him against Pattinson?
Yeah.
Do you choose an actor who's like older, or do you choose like a new, fresh Joker?
Well, see, the idea normally is that Batman makes the Joker put them into the fucking chemicals or whatever, and that's kind of how he comes about. But I can understand what you mean. In the original, of course, in Batman 91 or 90, like in Tim Burton's Batman, he's much older. Like, so there's probably maybe a 20 or 30 year age gap between the two of them. So that it doesn't help with the fight scenes, but then Joker's not meant to be a good fighter. He's meant to just be the guy who laughs until he keeps getting punched. I like a young Joker. If it's a young Batman, I like a young Joker because that leads into the idea that you can't have one without the other. It's like a weird yin-yang kind of thing.
Yeah, because they are. There's that whole thing of they're two sides of the same coin, and
yeah, blah blah blah.
Now, what about
right?
You get Ezra Miller's Flashpoint movie,
yeah,
and you smash all the DC content together.
Okay.
And then
this plan is so far never going to work. Ezra Miller's movie's never going to happen. So okay,
well,
right,
look, we've got time. We've been working away.
There was news this week. Sorry, just not to cut you off. Stay on that train of thought. But there was news this week that the director or the producer of The Flash said there will be news soon. So the news was that there's going to be news. I was like, all right, cool. Go on.
Good. And then you get Lauren Cohen, who played, let me get this right in my head, who played Ben Affleck's Martha Wayne.
Right, and you make her the Joker.
You make her the Joker.
Oh shit, which is what happens in Flashpoint, yes.
What, do you think people would flip?
And then you find out Robert Pattinson is Thomas Wayne.
Oh.
They keep saying Wayne all through the movie, and then it comes out that he's actually Thomas Wayne, and this is Flashpoint.
Tommy Boy.
Someone said at the very end, you should use your real name, Tommy Boy.
Oh my god, yes. But then you do lose out on Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Batman, which I'm still holding out hope for one day.
Oh yeah, actually, no, you're right. I just think that you can do a movie that's Batman related without the Joker, especially the first one, because that's rumoured to have lots of villains in it. He doesn't need to be anywhere near that. Second one, maybe, or third one, but like maybe even wait till the third one, because there is just a multitude of villains they haven't even touched on yet in these movies.
You know, what you do, have Joker be your Thanos.
Yeah, like, and you never get to see him
to that. Yeah, you don't even have to see him. Like, end of the third movie, have a laugh over the credits.
Oh shit! Oh Matt, do this.
And then you remake The Killing Joke. Clearly,
yeah. We just want Clayface to be a villain.
Just give us Clayface as a villain.
Clayface is one movie. Just have the second one just be Clayface.
Just don't even call it Batman. Call it Clayface.
No, Clayface and Friends. Call it Clayface and Friends.
That's the Harley Quinn animated show.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I think it's interesting, and also it annoys me that Joker's the only one people have latched onto, because there's so many more interesting villains. Not more interesting, but there's so many other interesting villains in Batman's world, just like there is in Spider-Man with Venom. Like, Venom isn't the be-all and end-all of villains.
True, yeah, and like, it was the Green Goblin for a while. It was like, oh, he's Spider-Man's greatest villain.
Yeah.
And every version had to do it, but like you say, there's enough of a rogues gallery for most superheroes that you can tell infinite stories without a Joker or a Green Goblin or a drinking problem.
And then you don't piss off anybody, because then you don't have the immediate media backlash of, he's not going to be Heath Ledger. He's probably going to be better than Jared, though. That's probably normally the media backlash.
Yeah, and it's either going to be that, or we'll get like what we have at the minute with the Morbius trailer, where it casually ties together two different universes.
Yeah.
And Joaquin Phoenix shows up in the trailer for Batman 2.
Yes! Okay, we're going to move on to a next piece of news, and this is actually something that I found quite interesting, and that is Russell Crowe's next movie is called Unhinged. Now, that's not the interesting bit. It's the fact that aims to be the first film back in theatres. So, why this story has stood out to me is because, of course, around this time, every movie is being pushed back until September, October, November. But one movie has gone the other way, and that is Russell Crowe's Unhinged, in that they have gone from their September release date, September 4th, back to July 1st.
Oh!
Yes.
That's soon!
They have gone back to July 1st because, and they say this is a massive gamble, because they feel that around July 1st will be the time when cinemas begin to reopen. And even if audience capacity in each auditorium is cut in half or even reduced down to a quarter, say, to allow social distancing while watching a film, Unhinged could lay claim to all the screens in the multiplex at once, which means that anybody just gagging to go for a movie would have to go see Unhinged. Which means that this movie was made on a $33 million budget, and they are banking on the fact that if they can get in as the first movie back, they can be the first one people see that are just like, just get me out of the house. I'll go see anything. And they will make back their money. Sean, what do you think about this? It's risky. There's a lot of risk, because if they don't open, say they push it back again until the middle of July or late July, then you're running to Tenet and then you get battered. But this is their big play to try and make some money back for what this movie, I'm going to read the plot to you, it is probably going to be terrible, but Sean, what are your immediate thoughts?
I mean, like, from a release standpoint, you can see their logic. Like, it does make sense. But is it, I don't know.
Remember, that's the 4th of July weekend as well.
That's what I'm thinking, because you don't want to be the film as well that causes, here's this massive cluster.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're all inside for another 3 months.
I mean, yeah, but I think this might surprise you, but studios and executives do not give a shit and would prefer to get their money on the first 2 weeks and then have the cluster afterwards and be just like, well, we got fucking paid.
I mean, you're right. You're almost entirely right.
That's my cynical viewpoint on that they might not care, Sean.
Oh, yeah, they don't. They won't care. I hope. Like, now it could also backfire horribly on them,
because the theaters in America are still locked. Like, they're not open.
Yeah,
and so they're hoping that it opens on July 1st.
They're hoping.
Yes.
Like $33 million. Like, yeah, on a 4th of July weekend, you probably would make it if you were the only movie in the cinema.
And you're on multiple screens at once. Like, you can't go see anything else.
Christopher Nolan is going to be pissed.
He'll make a movie about this, and it'll be mind-bending and a bit weird.
Oh. What do we know what this movie's about?
Like, Unhinged. I have the plot. I think you're going to like this, shot, because it involves obviously Russell Crowe, and Russell Crowe, he plays an unnamed man, which is a good start. Who engages in a high-speed duel with a single mom who provokes his rage after blasting her horn at him. Ha ha! He's unhinged, Sean.
What the fuck? They want this to make more than double 33.66, more than about $70 million.
They need probably more than 70 to make it back, but they're paying a lot of money in promotion. They're like going hard at it because they think if they can get this weekend out, people will go see a movie where Russell Crowe gets somebody, just a single mother, blasts her horn at him while they're driving, and he gets so mad he engages in a high-speed duel with this woman, who I can only assume, she might be driving to work, might be driving home from any sort of leisurely activities, and she's just like, oh, you could have crossed me, beep, and then Russell Crowe's going to kill her. I can only assume.
I'm not holding out hope that this is the sleeper hit of the year.
Moonfall still has that. Moonfall is still locked in.
Absolutely. But I think that people are going to say, okay, we'll see if it's safe to go by seeing how many people get sick from going to see this movie, and then we might go see Tenet.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Let the other people go in first, check it out, and then maybe, because Tenet is the one you want to see.
Exactly, let the fodder go in.
Let the fodder go in. I think that's also a good point, because, like, studios don't give a shit. And I just read this and I thought, in a very cynical way, there's definitely a white guy in a suit who's come up with this plan, and he's like, this is genius.
Yeah, and he's not going to the cinema.
Oh, there's no way he's going anywhere near the fucking cinema. There's no premiere or anything. But we'll throw it out.
We'll just put it out and see what happens.
And will people want to go to the cinema to see this movie? Are people that desperate that they're like, can't wait to see Unhinged? I heard it's a fucking sleeper hit of the summer.
See, 20 years ago maybe, but there's enough content out there now. Yeah, no, you're right, because everyone has every movie ever at the touch of a computer. Yeah, they, like, fair enough, they don't have new movies. But who was fucking on tenterhooks waiting for Unhinged to come out?
Well, I mean, speak for yourself, Sean. I've had posters up around my wall for weeks. Waiting.
Oh, I didn't know. Well, where'd you get those posters from?
Just downloaded them illegally. Wait, no, hang on. Wait, what?
Really? Doesn't sound like what a fan of Unhinged would do.
I bought them legally on eBay. Fuck, no, that's still bad.
You've done a mistake, Connor, and that's okay. That's okay.
The studio is Solstice Studios, so they are the ones releasing Unhinged to the world, Sean. I think this could be the biggest movie of the year. I think people are going to be so desperate that they don't have enough screens at home with their Now TV and their Disney Plus and their Netflix. I mean, I think they're going to be dying.
Keep naming services.
There's HBO Max. There's YouTube as well. Actually, YouTube sells movies now. If you want them.
That's true. Yeah, Google has them. So.
Google has every movie ever if you know the right places. I'm not saying I ever do. I'm not saying. I wouldn't say that now. I wouldn't say that. But someone lesser than me would find them.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. But so, do you think people are going to risk life and everyone they love to go see Unhinged? It's a tough one.
I think they have to be a bit unhinged themselves.
Oh, well, we've gotten them there now, huh?
We fucking nailed that down right away.
So, we're going to move on to another movie you do not care about, Sean, and that is Dark Universe movie Bride of Frankenstein. Bride of Frankenstein, the Dark Universe's movie that was off and then on, then off, is apparently now back, still in development. So, what we have here is Bride of Frankenstein was one of the original Dark Universe movies they were pushing hard. Angelina Jolie was going to play a Bride of Frankenstein. It was going to be after The Mummy and everything. And then, of course, The Mummy came out, got universally panned. The whole thing got cancelled, and they emptied out the lot and sent everyone home.
But then... The Invisible Man came out.
Yes, which they made on about a €10 budget.
And it made $7 trillion.
Yes, and they like money. And so they think, we've done it again. Admittedly, we went wrong with the mummy, but we've got one win. That's a 50% success rate. We were previously on a 0% success rate.
We're 1 for 2.
1 for 2. So they're back. Their confidence is high, and they're thinking the next one's going to be another winner. Because, I mean, what are the chances it won't be? And so, the Bride of Frankenstein movie was going to be like, I'm pretty positive that was the next in line. And they were hoping that it was going to be big business in this shared universe of resurrected and like rebooted classic monster movie characters. Sean, were you in any way interested in this universe to begin with? And has this piqued your interest that Bride of Frankenstein is now coming back? It's back at our screens. I know you're excited. Calm down, please.
See,
that's the reaction they want.
Yeah, they want blatant uncertainty is the reaction they're going for. I don't know, because Invisible Man is just a good movie. And also they said that wasn't Dark Universe. That was just a movie.
No, it wasn't Dark Universe until they realised it made money. And now they're thinking, jeez, it could be Dark Universe. Could we use that and throw it in?
Like Bride of Frankenstein. Not to raise other questions. Can that happen without Frankenstein?
I mean, I'm sure it can, but it's a weird name if there's no Frankenstein movie.
Yeah, unless it's the bride of Dr. Frankenstein and she turns out to be more like evil.
Yeah, I actually don't know the concept of Bride of Frankenstein just as a story. Do you have any idea in regards to that?
No, from what I gather, it's I think Frankenstein after Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, Jesus. Actually, no, it's Frankenstein's monster.
Frankenstein's monster, who I will henceforth refer to as Frankenstein.
Okay.
Comes to his master and is like, "Look, I didn't ask to be born. The least you can do is give me some company." So Dr. Frankenstein makes Frankenstein a bride.
Just too many Frankensteins here.
It's
I'm already getting confused.
Well, now the bride of Frankenstein is involved.
Right. That does sound like something I'd want to watch.
But like, you could do a very interesting version of this where you just call this The Bride.
Yeah,
and it's like
actually.
This mad doctor makes a wife for himself out of dead bodies.
Which is really fucked up, but I think that's way more interesting. Sean, I think you've just nailed this.
I think Universal should hire me personally.
Well, no, maybe you should probably aim higher. But
I'll throw out vague ideas and you put them to work.
It's the Stan Lee way.
It's the way to go.
So acclaimed screenwriter David Cope, he was originally down to write the movie, and he obviously said everything got put on hold, got put on the back burner. But with the recent obvious lockdown, nobody could go anywhere, he was able to bring the script, which he was stuck at home, so he just started revisiting his script, and he was able to bring the script into a place where he says, where I kind of always wanted it to be, and credits Universal with being gracious enough to let him try again on a story that Manny had already moved on from. So I have a version now, and they have a version that we all really like, and I think they're talking to directors now, he says.
Okay, so a writer has said he's happy to have written it.
Yeah, and he said it's gone well. So the whole lockdown has actually... This movie would not be made, but everyone's kind of stuck at home. And he said, sure, look, I'll take another look at the script and see what it's like.
Yeah, I'll make it perfect to like everything I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Look, I will give it a watch. Let's just look at the last monster movie they put out. It was very good.
They nailed it. They've got a success rate going.
But if I turn up to the cinema...
Yeah.
After seeing Unhinged,
and well, I mean, you've got your Unhinged little flag, and you've got your Russell Crowe hat, and your Unhinged shirt.
And I turned up to the wrong screening.
Oh, tiddlewinks! Oh, shit.
But if I'm sitting in the cinema, and all the lights go down, and then I see the Universal logo,
yeah,
and then it switches
to
the Dark Universe.
Yeah, somebody made that logo once. They worked really hard on it.
I don't know if I'll be happy or unhinged.
You'll just be sitting there like, what the fuck did I come to see this for? I could have seen on Hinge for the 7th time. God,
it gets better every odd-numbered watch.
There's things you miss, Sean. There's things you miss on the first go. You have to watch it back again. Did she hug first? What's going on?
Han honked first.
Also, Tenet moved their release date back, which was meant to be like a big news story, and I was like, oh fuck, like I may tell Sean, but they moved it back a week, so not really that groundbreaking, as it will.
So the cinemas said, look, we need time to put in plastic windows in front of everything.
Yeah, I think they moved it back to the 31st of July. I think it was the 20th of July or something like that.
Yeah, look, in my opinion, the longer they delay it, the better.
And so we're finishing off this week with something that, Sean, last week we talked about Superman a lot. And
yes.
This was just in regards to Henry Cavill. Is he coming back? Is he not coming back? What's the story?
I don't know.
Nobody knows. But it has now been reported, I should say, that Warner Brothers believes that Henry Cavill's Superman can't lead his new movie, a solo movie. So they're not confident in Henry Cavill to lead a solo adventure as Superman, and they would much prefer him to be involved in other projects instead of being his own character. And I read this headline, I read this report, and I just think Warner Brothers have gone very wrong here. Shaw, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, they've made a serious misstep because...
Yeah.
That, nothing about Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill is definitely able to lead a story. That version of Superman that they created is unable, in his current form, to lead a story.
Because they made him so sad.
Yeah, but they also made him unbeatable.
Yeah, actually, he's an undefeatable sad god.
Like that, and fair dues to him, they realised that's not an interesting watch.
So they killed him and then brought him back.
Like Henry Cavill is able to lead an episode of The Witcher where he says 2 words and one of them is fuck.
Yeah, and he's like, I used to think that Henry Cavill wasn't a very good actor. Because I was just like, not that he wasn't very good, but I was just like, he's probably not the best, but like obviously he looks like Henry Cavill, so that kind of helps him. But it wasn't until The Witcher came out I was like, this guy's actually really good.
This guy's a class actor.
Yeah, he's really good. He probably doesn't get the credit he deserves because he's so pretty.
Yeah, and he's probably never worked on a production that hasn't been massively hampered by, studio interference. And he's also very good in The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
He's also able to pump both hands before he starts punching Tom Cruise.
That's his most famous power.
His most famous clocking
the one
both
thing
arms.
Superman can't do.
Who'd win? Mustache Tom? Who? Yeah, here we go. You've got Henry Cavill. And you've got Mustache Henry Cavill, but he's against Superman Henry Cavill. But Mustache Henry Cavill's able to pump both arms before the fight begins.
How many times?
As many as he wants, really. He's got an hour head start of pumping.
So as many times as he can pump as many times. I think, he needs to land that punch. Like, he needs to land one punch.
Yeah, because Superman's just going to rip him in two.
Yeah, or snap his neck.
Yeah, okay. He's a mad for a snap. He is.
He loves to break a neck, does Superman.
He'll make sure he goes through a few skyscrapers first. He's going to kill a few children before he gets to the neck breaking.
Although, actually, Superman has a history of letting people just wail on him for a bit and then losing his head.
Really?
Like that version of Superman. Yeah, because in Batman vs. Superman, Batman just, is shooting him, he's throwing grenades at him, and he just walks towards Batman menacingly, is his one response to that.
Yeah, because he could end it immediately.
Yeah, so I think he would let Mustache Man hit him once, and that's all that
he'd even let him pump up. He's just like, yeah, go on, pump it. It's not going to help.
It's like, this guy has issues, clearly.
That's a weird mustache. You should CGI that off.
It's super easy to do.
According to Heroic Hollywood, Warner Brothers is not confident that there is sufficient interest in a solo adventure for Cavill's Superman at this time, and instead hopes to build up the character by having him play a supporting role for the foreseeable future. The full quote reads that they said, "A standalone Superman movie would not be successful at this time. Perhaps once there's more momentum after playing a supporting role in some successful DC films," that's a big call, there would be more of a chance for a standalone film. So they said a standalone Superman movie would not be successful at this time.
Fucking, you can do anything you want with Superman. Like, he doesn't have to stick to, like, here's the city, here's essentially New York. You could put him in space.
Yeah, he could go anywhere. He's able to fly anywhere.
He could, I don't know, he could do literally anything, and they've written him to be, oh, he needs to cry and cause tons of damage and then be in a courtroom or in handcuffs.
I think like, they have him as the Hulk. Like, they have him locked in as DC's Hulk, which I think Superman has way more character depth than the Hulk does.
Yeah. Yeah, the Hulk... Yeah, when you look at the two characters that they say don't work well in a solo film, the Hulk is the one that famously they've said there will be no Hulk solo films. But the Hulk has so many limitations on him that he's just motivated by anger. And, you know, unless he's been the Hulk for 2 years, he can't really speak. But Superman is an alien who is from a world that got exploded.
He's the only one left.
He's the only one left. He's a stranger among all his people. Half the world loves him, half the world hates him. He wants to do good, but he doesn't know how. His adoptive family raised him to be a decent person. Like, you can... and if you want to do evil Superman, do Red Son or something. Like...
But you have to show Superman being good for at least one movie before you get to evil Superman, though. Like, they haven't actually shown him just being Clark Kent.
That's another thing. You could do a Clark Kent movie.
But the 70s Superman movies did that, like...
exactly.
And I think they did that quite well, where he's so bumbling. Like, he plays 3 different people. Like, he's Clark Kent as this bumbling, he falls over everything. And then you have Clark Kent who's slightly more confident when he's alone by himself. And then you have Superman.
Yeah, but this one they have... Superman is dressed up as Clark Kent right now.
Yeah, and he's just the same. Whereas they should be 2 very separate characters, and he should be an idiot. Well, not an idiot, but like he should be, because Superman is always, as you said, like he's come to this planet, and why he becomes that character is he's like, I'm gonna just try and fit in, and I'll just be a fool, and nobody will expect that I'm Superman, even though I'm clearly 6'3" and look like Henry Cavill.
Yeah, but like, there's a clip from, I think it's either Superman or Superman 2, but it's Christopher Reeves as Clark Kent, but then he, like, his entire demeanour changes.
Oh, it's when
he straightens his back.
He reveals himself to Lois. That's in the scene where he falls over the rug and he reaches into the fire to get his glasses back, and then he reveals himself to be Superman, and she's like, "You're Superman." And the minute she says it, like he's like slouched and he's like feeble, and she says that, and he just straightens up. He's like, "Yeah, yeah."
He gives up the act, and it's amazing. So, and I'm sure Henry Cavill could do that.
No, he can't. He can't act. Can't act,
of course. Sorry.
But Warner Brothers have taken the wrong lessons. Instead of thinking Superman as a character doesn't work. There are lots of people who don't like Superman, but I think they don't like him because he's been portrayed like he has. But yeah, we have said so many times that Captain America works, and people love Captain America. And I think if Captain America works, Superman works just as well.
Exactly, and how many fucking Superman comic books are there?
And don't make him unbeatable. Like, he should just be really strong and can fly and has laser eyes. Okay.
Yeah, if Thor can be a fucking interesting character.
Yeah, Thor is a god. Literally a god.
Thor is a god from a world that got destroyed, and half of the people hate him, half the people like him.
What? That's weird. That'll never work.
Something there.
Something there.
And he's sad all the time.
He is sad. But to be fair, he is sad because he also lost an eye. But that's the best scene in Avengers. Is that Infinity War or Endgame? I think it's Infinity War, when he says,
with his
like,
mother.
Yeah, he's like, I lost my mother. I lost with Rocket. Oh, yeah. I lost my mother.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
I lost my friends. I lost my family, because that was the first time we'd actually seen him sad. It works a lot better if he's pretending that he's not sad constantly, and then you see him break down once every movie or once every 3 movies,
or once for an entire movie.
Yeah, and just like, fuck yeah, I know. Someone says something, you're just like, Jesus, yeah.
Yeah, like, but the Superman / Clarke Kent we see in the DC universe at the minute seems to have been sad forever.
He's always sad, because it's always grey, and he's always just in a courtroom looking sad.
Like, even when he smiles, there's sadness there.
Yeah, and so I read that and I was like, we need to talk about Superman again, just as a concept, because Superman, I think, works a lot better by himself. Now, he might work better. Batman and Superman are like, they're a good combo. I'm not as high on Superman Wonder Woman as some people are. I think that's kind of overpowered, just the two of them. There's no real enemy that you could have that could cause any sort of issue at all. But I like that Superman and Batman are like differing sides. Like, they're completely opposites in every single way.
Yeah.
They are literally yin and yang.
And that's why they call them the Dawn of Justice.
That's why they call them the Dawn of Justice. That's exactly right, Sean. But I think that's it for this week's Movie Mondays. Unless you have any other thoughts on Superman.
I think he's good.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's been hard done by.
Yeah, he's been not done very well.
But I have high hopes for the future.
Okay. So I think that's it for this week's Movie Mondays, Sean, if you want to take us out.
I would like to. What a week. Big thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of Movie Mondays. We'll be back on Wednesday with Weird News Wednesday, Friday with Hero Zero, and next Monday with another episode of Movie Mondays. If you would like to support the show, we have a Patreon link. It's patreon.com/Heroes4Hire podcast, or there's a link to that in the description. And big thank you, of course, goes out to all of our patrons: Alexander Williams, Ciara Lawler, David Clarke, Ed Ball, Joe Burney, Ray Ging, Roisin Hally, and Ryan Evanson. Thank you all so much for supporting us. We hope you enjoy the things we put out on Patreon. For those of you that don't know, we have what we call PELP, which is the Patreon exclusive Lazarus Pit.
Have we actually agreed on PELP as a name?
Oh, we've agreed on it.
Oh, no, it's still not just in developmental stage, or is that just actually
Oh, no,
agreed?
I've bought the jackets, Colin.
Oh, you bought the jacket, with your unhinged money.
With my own hinge money, and I have 2 director's chairs made up, and they both just say PELP on the back.
Oh, no.
So that is where we look back at one old movie, comic book, nerdy, geeky kind of related movie, and we do a talk on it. It's like an episode all of its own, and they're a lot of fun to do.
Sometimes I even say nice things about movies. It's very rare, but sometimes
it is very rare. But yeah, go check out the Patreon if you think you might be interested in that. You can also follow us on all social medias. They're all linked in the description, or you can email us heroesfryer_@outlook.com. But other than that, just tell one human being that we exist.
just the one.
And we'll see you on Wednesday.
Yeah. So I've been Ciara Lawler.
I've been Tommy.
I'll see you then, guys. Bye.